Hello, my name is Jonathan Smith. Today I will be recording a full-nested argument speech on capital punishment. I will be using my phone as a prop and Google Slides as my presentation. To start off, my first claim would be that capital punishment does not function as an effective deterrent to violent crime and therefore it should not be used as a legitimate criminal justice policy in the United States. My data for this would be that states that retain the death penalty consistently demonstrate no statistical significance reduction in violent crime when compared to states that have abolished capital punishment. Multiple logistical studies indicate that homicidal rates are often equate to a higher death penalty. States that have non-death penalty in states, the significance of this would be that if capital punishment were an effective deterrent, states that employ it would demonstrate consistently lower rates of violent crime. The absence of such patterns undermines the deference justification. My second data category would be that scholarly reviews conclude that studies claiming a different effect suffer from serious methodological flaws, including omitted variable biases, inappropriate model assumptions, and inability to isolate execution as a causal factor. In crime reduction significance, reliable deference claims require rigorous causal evidence. When such evidence is methodologically unsound, policy decisions based on it lack forensic credibility. My third data category would be that research in criminology and psychology shows that most violent crimes are committed under conditions of emotional distress, substance use, or situational pressure. Contexts in which offenders do not rationally weigh punishment severely. Significance deference presupposes rational calculation when offenders lack awareness or capacity of rational cost benefit analysis. The threat of execution cannot logically deter behavior. For my warrant, the claim that capital punishment should not be used in criminal justice policy is warranted because deference requires demonstrable causal effectiveness across multiple data categories and comparative crime rates, methodological evaluations of deterrence studies. Research on criminal decision making, there was no credible evidence that the death penalty reduces violent crimes. Instead, the data demonstrates that execution failed to influence offenders' behavior in a meaningful or consistent way. Rather, empirical support showing the capital punishment achieves a stated goal of deference to use cannot be justified as a rational or ethical policy tool within the U.S. criminal justice system. My backing or my primary sources would be FBI Uniform Crime Reports, Bureau of Justice Statistics. For my scholarly sources, my would be National Research Council, Donahue and Woolford's Statistics Critique of Economic Deterrence Studies, Bailey's and Peterson's longitudinal analysis of execution and homicidal rates, Nagin's review of deference theory and punishment severity. These sources collectively establish that capital punishment lack empirical grounding as a deterrent. The rebuttals or counterclaims to my claim would be that the death penalty deters violent crime because the severity of punishment discourages potential offenders. The second counterclaim would be that even if evidence is mixed, the possibility of deterrence justifies capital punishment as a preemptive measure. The third counterclaim would be that some economic studies show a correlation between execution and reduced homicide rates. To disqualify those counter-arguments, my counter-argument would fall under fairness and scrutiny. The National Research Council explicitly concludes that existing economic studies cannot establish a causal deterrent effect, rendering correlation-based claims unreliable. Donohue and Waffle further demonstrate the deterrent finding disappear when an alternate model specification or use. Additionally, Nagin shows that increasing punishment severity has a minimal deterrent impact compared to certainty of punishment. Even if marginal deterrent effects were theoretically possible, policy decisions, particularly those involving reversal of punishment, must rely on robust, replicable, and ethically defensible evidence. The absence of such evidence combined with the demonstrated risk of wrongful execution and systemic bias disqualifies deterrence as a legitimate justification for capital punishment. And then these are my references. Thank you.